Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Play Sports Rap. I'm your host, Pete Lubar, and today we're doing the Mountain West Wrap Up, and it is week 7. Sorry I didn't do one last week. I apologize to my fans. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I was out playing 116 holes of golf in Hilton Head. Body's a little sore, brain's a little tired from partying, but did follow football all week, and so we'll cover both weeks here, both week 6 and 7. A couple interesting things have happened. A couple teams have separated themselves. Boise is now 2-0, UNLV is 2-0, and San Diego State is 2-0 as well. AirForce are now 0-4. They're dropped out of the race, in my opinion. So anyhow, we'll start with CSU, and just when you thought CSU was over and done for the season, they put on a terrific show against Fresno State on Friday. The Rams hung 49 points on the Bulldogs in a 49-21 beating, despite 350 yards and 3 TDs from E.J. Warner. Unfortunately, it's hard to win when you have 3 interceptions and a fumble. Add in 13 penalties for 117 yards, and you can see why things went south for the Rams. 2 of the interceptions led to TDs, and a fumble was returned for a TD, so a nice defensive effort for them. The Rams improved to 2-4 for the season. They are now 1-1 in conference. Fresno State drops to 5-2 on the season and 2-1 in conference. Boise State beat New Mexico 41-25 in Boise last week as Boise's defense created 3 Lobo turnovers. Quarterback Jack Lane of New Mexico fumbled on the first play of the game and threw an interception on the second series. Boise led by 10 after the first period. Surprisingly, the Lobos fought back with 2 TDs in the second period and only trailed by 3 at halftime. The game was close heading into the fourth period when the tired Lobo defense gave up 21 points. The Lobos were only able to run for 49 yards in the game. That is not a recipe for success for New Mexico. Looked very similar to their Michigan loss. Boise now 4-2 overall and tied for first in the conference at 2-0. New Mexico is 3-3 and 0-2 in the Mountain West. They will finally get a home conference game next week against Nevada. UNLV remained undefeated on the season, moving to 2-0, beating the AirForce Falcons 51-48 in a wild shootout. The 2 teams ran up 1,200 yards in total offense, and it wasn't like one team had 800 and the other had 400. It was 603 to 597, and they did it in totally different ways. AirForce had 428 rushing, which you might expect. UNLV had 377 yards passing. Neither team displayed a hint of defense. AirForce missed a game-tying 40-yard field goal at the end of the game. AirForce is now 1-5 and 0-4 in the MWC, and in my opinion, out of contention for a Mountain West title. Wyoming upset San Jose State on Saturday to improve to 3-3 on the year and 1-1 in conference. Caden Anderson of Wyoming threw for 304 yards and 2 TDs. He also threw 2 interceptions. San Jose led 28-14 heading into the fourth period, but threw a pick 6 to Braden Johnson and scored Wyoming scored a TD with 40 seconds remaining in the game to seal the victory. San Jose missed 2 field goals in the game. San Jose is 2-4 on the year and 1-1 in conference after beating New Mexico at home in week 6. San Diego State beat Nevada 44-10, winning their 4th straight game. San Diego was up 44-0 before Nevada got a field goal and then a garbage time TD. San Diego State is now 5-1 and 2-0 in conference. Nevada falls to 1-5 and 0-2. Hawaii picked up a win at home over Utah State, 44-26, as Micah Alejado threw for 413 yards and 3 TDs for the Rainbow Warriors. The game was close heading into the fourth quarter, but Hawaii scored twice And then Utah State fumbled and was intercepted on their next two positions. Hawaii added another TD to get to the final score. Hawaii now 5-2 and 2-1 in conference. Utah State drops to 3-3 and 1-1 in conference. So if we look ahead to Week 8 games, hard to believe that we're at Week 8 already. Only 5 more weeks or 4 more weeks in the schedule. So coming to a close here. But good thing basketball starts in another 2 weeks, so we got that going for us. Friday, Utah State 3-3 travels to San Jose State. Both teams 1-1 in conference. San Jose State is a 4.5 point dog. 4.5 point favorite. They're giving 4.5 points to Utah State. That feels about right for San Jose State at home. They have the ability to win at home. Not so good on the road. Nevada is 1-5, 0-2. Traveling to New Mexico 3-3 and 0-2. New Mexico is a 12.5 point favorite. New Mexico is 5-1 against the spread this year. However, the one loss against the spread was to Idaho State, where they were a 12.5 point favorite. So New Mexico 12.5 point favorite. They should cover on this game. Nevada is not playing good ball and hasn't for 2 years now. But things happen, so we'll see if that goes through. But New Mexico is favored, and I would give the points. Wyoming is traveling to AirForce. Wyoming 3-3, 1-1 in conference. AirForce 1-5, 0-4. AirForce is a 5.5 point favorite. Neither team can play defense, so it should be a high-scoring game. I would look to the over, which is somewhere, I think, around 57 points. Air Force is going to get their 28 points, and it's just a question of whether they can hold Wyoming to, 21, or whether Wyoming's going to get 33. So we'll see where that goes. UNLV 6-0, 2-0 at Boise State in the marquee matchup in the Mountain West this week. One of these guys is going to be on track to be win the conference title. Doesn't mean they'll win the conference championship game, but they'll win the conference title. Boise State is an 11.5 point favorite. I'm not sure about this one. UNLV really doesn't stop anyone defensively. Boise State scores really well. UNLV has a good offense. I'd look at the 62.5 point, and I'd look to the over on that. So I probably wouldn't bet that game unless I was going to bet the over. Hawaii is 5-2, 2-1, and they travel to Colorado State 2-4, 1-1. I would lean to Colorado State just because it's in Colorado State, so Wyoming's traveling about as far away from home as they can possibly do within conference. And, Colorado State looked better last week. So those are the games. Buys are Fresno State and San Diego State. Both teams have a week off, and that is it. So hope you enjoyed the wrap-up. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube page. It costs you nothing, but it helps me out, and I appreciate everyone. Take care. Bye.